on. She's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. People message Jake 3 times and then they just just skip the step.
Yeah, just go straight to the source.
me.
Yeah.
I tried, but
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you.
Gotta have boundaries too with the I think
I
people
know.
expect answers immediately.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, this used to take longer. It would be, you'd have to expect at least one
remember
business
back
day
in
or
the
something
day.
for a response. So
Well, yeah, now I think so much of my energy is with the business. Parents. Parents are like, I called you and you didn't answer. And I'm like,
I'm teaching your class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was teaching your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how much they expect an immediate response now.
Yeah.
And I try to explain to people too. I'm like, I am not on my phone. I try so hard to be present in what I'm doing.
Exactly.
That
If you don't have to be on it, it's nice to be able to be like, I'm going to wait until I'm in that world. You know?
Exactly. Have to well, now I schedule it. Now I'm like, now it's time to answer all of my
Exactly.
text
exactly.
messages.
I
Sit
try
down
to do
and
that
the
too.
response.
Because if you don't, then all through the day you're being pulled away from what you're doing to be like, oh, I got an email. I better. And it's like, well, no. Wait a minute. You can wait to get back to it.
Well, I can't even imagine. Now I see with Jacob, he's working on a project for hours, and I'm like, there's no way he would just be like, yeah, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing. I'm in the middle of a flow. I'm gonna stop what I'm
Me
doing
too.
and go text
exactly.
you. No.
Yeah.
I leave my phone downstairs sometimes when I'm painting because otherwise I'll just be tempted to check this or get distracted or whatever.
Totally.
So I try to
stay in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I started I'll be doing time lapses when I'm working on stuff.
Yeah.
And then just not having the he'll hear the phone buzz or whatever.
But you're like,
and
no, I'm running a time
I'm doing
lapse.
what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
I keep showing him all your videos. They're I'm like, you need to do stuff like this, right? It's so
yeah.
you need it
The
for
process
the
and that?
and people just that's their way of enticing now, right? Which
Yeah.
I think everyone's just so meh, 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 I don't want to have to do that, but that's
I literally today had that because I don't, and I was like, oh, I gotta post something.
Yeah.
And I hate doing it, but then I get really good feedback from people.
Right.
Which is,
it's great.
There's I have to do it because if you don't do it, I'm trying to find followers, to find clients, to find fans, whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, you're
trying
not
to make
going
it a
to find
life.
anybody.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a business.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it is, even though it annoys me and I don't like it, I do get people that will say, oh, I really liked watching this, or I'm following along.
an impact.
So then I'm like, well, that's nice. They're
Made my day.
I've had honestly people message me and in response to a reel and say this is I look forward to this because it's a nice break from my day where I don't have to feel stressed about something and I can just relax and watch your videos.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really nice.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess, okay, that I'll keep doing it because when people they enjoy it, I'm like, all
good
right,
feedback.
then that's nice.
It's worth your
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing too is that go back in the day and think of how you would have had to solicit yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting in the park with
yeah.
a hat in front
Exactly,
of you. At least you can get into people's phones, get into
Totally.
people's spaces.
It's easier to reach more people.
Yeah,
And
I
far
know.
and away, which is nice. From
It's
all
been
over the world.
a game changer for us too with the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, we should be recording all
Okay.
this. Let's
Yeah. No, I already am. I was
Oh.
kind of just mic checking, but
Oh,
we're
okay.
good. But we kind of started off pretty good, so we can just jump into it. Welcome to Artistically Married. We're here today with Emily Andrews, a painter and artist from Niagara and musician as well.
all the arts.
Yeah, I
Dabble in all the arts.
Yeah, I like to dabble.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been really cool to kind of watch your evolution, right? It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
That you can tell, that
I
you've
know.
built up your skills as you go.
I think
which
I've
is
gotten
amazing.
better, hopefully.
Oh my
So
God.
that's good.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that just goes to show that if you keep working at something, you will get better at it eventually.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think it's a common theme on our podcast. We're always talking to artists, so we always say, do you feel like it's something that just I think the inspiration to do it is innate. It ends up being really
absolutely.
organic because you want to do it,
Yep.
but then that only takes you so far. It's
Right,
that natural
you have
talent.
to
You have
stick
to practice.
to it,
Yeah.
and when it is hard, which is when you kind of want to give up or
up.
find something else.
Yeah.
That's when you really just got to keep doing it because you're not going to get any better if you don't work at it. So
yeah, it's true. Those are the moments.
It
where you're
helps
just
if you like
"Ah."
it though and you're passionate about it, because even when it is hard, you're like, well, I like doing this, and for me it's I kind of want to like get to the end of the paint. I want to finish it, you know, and have that like sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And that keeps me going through all the like really challenging stuff. Is I'm like, this is getting somewhere. It's going to be really good when it's done. So even though like I want to tear my hair out right now, or it's really hard, or I'm trying to figure this out, it's like, you know, you see the end, you know.
Totally. Yeah, finishing it's the best feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's crazy now in like a society where we're constantly like that dopamine hit. Like we want it fast.
Right.
As an artist, when you feel that like...
You have to put in so much time.
Yeah, when you feel that like, you know, all the way to the top and then it's finished.
Like,
you're like
it's not
nothing
quick.
like
That's
it.
what I mean. Like when I, like especially stuff that takes a really long time, like that's what I mean. I don't think I'm like totally needing that dopamine right away, or I'd be doing some kind of art that was much quicker to do. You know what I mean?
Just
like
throwing it on the page.
Yeah, like I definitely have patience. I know that much about myself, because I don't mind spending a long time on something, because I know that at the end it's going to be so satisfying. It's so worth it.
Yeah.
It's always worth the work.
Yeah, so do you want to kind of walk us through your typical artistic process from like the concept, how you think about it, and then getting us to that completion point?
Yeah. So I keep an ongoing list of ideas all the time, which it's like I have...
Just roll the scroll.
Yeah, honestly, pretty much. Yeah, it's a giant scroll.
Yeah.
I have more ideas like to last a lifetime for sure.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. And I write them all down though, because you never know when you're going to get to them. Sometimes they take years, you know, some still haven't happened yet, but eventually it's kind of like the right time and place to work on something.
Yeah.
So, in terms of like a painting, for example, because that's a lot of what I do, I decide on what my idea is going to be first. So either I run down the list and go, okay, what am I feeling like tackling? Or I'm like, I want to start a new painting. Let me get some ideas going. What should I do? Maybe I'm like randomly inspired by something that happens. Then I usually have to work on some kind of reference material to work from. So when I was first kind of doing the type of painting I'm doing now, I was taking a lot of reference from vintage ads from the 50s and to the 70s.
I totally felt that. Yeah, and I was looking at your work, I'm like, I see like a cover of like, you know, the like pinup girl in the kitchen.
And that's exactly.
Cool.
I did like a series of collages that's like exactly that.
Cool.
So I've been doing collage for a while, and I was kind of using the same, I guess, like method of collage to kind of put together a painting. So I used to gather more references from like magazines, vintage magazines, and use those photos and kind of like almost make a collage out of them and then paint from that.
How do you even find that?
I have like mad collection of magazines, like so many magazines.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they're all, everything I've cut out is all like categorized into different categories and subcategories. Yeah.
Amazing.
There's a lot of paper up there. But anyway, lately though, and what I want to kind of get more into is doing my own reference photography, which I've done a lot of that too. So then I have to, you know, I will usually sketch out an idea of like what I'm wanting it to look like in terms of maybe like the angle and the framing and the composition. Mm-hmm. Then I have to like work on creating reference photography. So a lot of the time I will like model, but not always. I don't want to always be the model, but sometimes I just want to get working on something, and on the spot I'm like, okay, who do I have here? It's me. Okay, I guess I'll be the person. Like the latest painting I did, I got Nathaniel and I knew that I wanted him. But even then, he was busy. So I'm setting up the shot. I'm doing test shots. I'm standing in where I would want him, doing all the lighting.
You're texting him, please come home.
I need you right now. He was working on the basement, actually. And I'm like, eventually I'm going to call you up. I'm going to make it quick. But like, I need you to get changed and come over here and hold this phone and do this.
So fun.
So I spend like hours kind of setting up the shot. I'm not a professional photographer, so that takes longer. Like, I think if I knew what I was doing, I'm sure it would go quicker. And I'm working on learning this.
But again, you're developing 3 different art forms at the same time.
There's a lot of things to know. So I'll set up my reference photography, play around with that. Sometimes I'll take like 100 shots and use one of them. You know, sometimes I'll take all those shots and I'll take elements from a few. I'll be like, oh, the lighting on the hand is perfect in this one, but the angle of the phone is better in this one, you know? So I kind of will use however many photos I need to work from. then I got to figure out what size I want the canvas,
Right.
whether I make it or recycle it. I get like stuff people are throwing out and then I rewrap. Like I wrap it with my own canvas and prime it and all that.
Okay.
I like to try to like wrap and prime canvases and have them ready though. Because that's like not a fun part. So when you're excited about starting a painting and you want to get to it, you don't want to be like, oh, I got exactly. You want it to be like ready.
Yeah.
So if I have
totally.
Yeah, if I have the canvas ready, I'll get my projector, I'll project it, draw it out, and then the painting starts. That's like the bulk of the work. That's what takes the longest amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always feel that with trying to record music. If it's not there ready to go, and you're like, it takes so much time to set up. You have like, you know, a quick window of time. You have an idea, you want to get it down.
Yeah.
And you can't have like an hour of setup and it's
No, because it'll mess with the flow and everything.
Yeah.
And if you're in the mood, like I'll be like, oh my God, I have this idea. I want to start it right now. Like I don't want any barriers to
Definitely.
you know, to getting started on a project especially when you're excited about it and you want to like the part that I want to get to is the painting. Like for me, that's the fun part. Building the canvas is not fun. Stretching the canvas, priming it, not fun.
Yep.
Taking the photos, trying to edit them in Photoshop. I have no Photoshop skills. Not my bag. Not into it.
Right.
I want to be like into the painting.
Yeah.
But you got to do all that to get to the painting. So yeah, I try to make that kind of as easy as I can so that I can get to like the fun and challenging part.
Yeah, I think that like is a really good idea just to like have stuff set up. And you said music, but yeah, same with us in like the dance studio. I'm like, oh, it's great. Anytime I have an idea, I can just like go into that space and like play with it, right?
Exactly. And your space is like open and it's ready for you to work. Right?
To work. I know. Yeah, every artist needs to have workshops
you
all
really
over their
do.
house.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference, honestly.
Yeah, so you're kind of talking about that. I think that's more of just like a, you know, a maneuvering or like physical barrier. But how do you deal with like creative blocks? Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're just like, I have this scroll of time of things to do.
I have, well.
I was thinking more because you, like, because of some of the projects that you've gotten yourself into, there tends to be like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like sometimes people bring things to you, I think, that are like, can you make this? Or I needed something for this event or this gallery or museum.
Yeah, like I try to manage my time well, like especially if they're like installation projects like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I really
more
like
of,
doing those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So if I get like a good installation job that's worth my time, then I definitely make that a priority.
Yeah.
Like I did one for the museum, the Niagara Falls History Museum a few years ago. And it's still one of my favorite things I've ever done. And that I worked on for like months. Like that was a lot of work and sourcing materials and stuff like that took a long time. I clear my schedule for that because I really like it. Yeah. But with creative blocks, it's not that I'm like, again, I have all these ideas, but sometimes you have these ideas and you're like, no, I don't feel like that one right now. Like, I don't feel like working on that one right now. So you have to kind of find something that you're excited about. Like I said, kind of the right project at the right time.
In the moment.
But then sometimes, you know, when I'm working on like a painting or something, I'll hit like a bit of a block where like it's not going well, or it's not... Moving is not that it should be an easy process, but just that like the flow isn't there as much as it should be.
Right.
And I've had that happen a couple times with paintings. And the way that I've dealt with them thus far, and I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, is I tend to put it aside and start a different painting. Yeah. Because what ends up happening, if it was like I had to get it done for a deadline or something, it'd be a different story.
Right.
But most of the time, it's my own deadline.
Right.
So what I'll do is if it's really just not flowing or it's not coming together how I expect it to, I'll put it aside. I'll start a different painting. And then more often than not, the one I start after that will really start to click. And I'll go, okay, well, this one's working. Let's go with this. Yeah. And then maybe I'll go back to, I did that once. There was one that I tried a different method under the suggestion of a friend who he was like, you should try doing your underpaintings differently. Like he had a criticism about the way I did underpainting. So I tried his method and it just really threw me off. And as I was working, I'm like, I don't know, it messed me up. So then I ended up kind of putting that one on pause, started a different one, went back to my usual method.
Like, you were wrong.
No, like that. But for me, not for him, but for me, I was like, I think I liked the way I was doing it before.
Yeah.
You know, so I tend to like, I'll jump to another project, I think.
Yeah.
And then that kind of shakes it up enough, or, you know, it puts you in a better mental state where maybe that's flowing better.
Yeah.
And then it leaves you in a place where you're ready to go back to whatever was giving you a hard time.
Cool. Yeah. I find mine's like so emotion based.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I'm
why
just like
wouldn't it
having
be?
a bad day. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I hate this. I hate the song.
Yeah,
I hate
yeah.
everything about this.
You
You're all
like it, and then you
fired.
don't like it, and then you come back, you're like, oh, wait a minute, it might
you
be
know what?
good.
It's
And then the
good.
next
Why
day,
did this suck
it's
last week?
No, this is bad. Yeah. Yeah, that happens a lot too.
Yeah. Because
Yeah, I've
artists
had-
are so emotional.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had pieces I was working on and kind of did the same thing, and I'd put it away for a while, work on something else, and then end up going back to it. But then I could kind of see the point where I stopped and then restarted,
Right.
and it has a different feel
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, yeah.
And like, I don't know. Sometimes it's good though. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
bad.
It's part of the process though too, right?
Yeah, and sometimes like you'll finish something big and be like so excited about it, you'll just like start just giving her on the next one.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's just like, oh, I don't want to touch that for a while. Like
Right.
that was too long.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I need a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like your big projects
Yeah.
taking hundreds of hours.
Yeah. They
Sure.
can get kind of tiring when it's,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of work like that.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about your education and kind of like how that influenced you. But yeah, have you done, you just made me think of it because you were saying like someone recommended it. But yeah, how did you kind of develop your specific style? And have you done any like workshops and other things that would like kind of challenge you into like bringing in other stuff?
I kind of like, yeah, I guess I definitely developed my style, like not in an intentional way, I guess, just through practicing. Like when I started painting, I wasn't painting realism, I was painting abstract, which I don't think I'm very good at, but I was just trying painting, you know, I wasn't very...
I thought it was fun. It kind of looked like African
I don't know,
abstract to me. I
like,
liked it.
I'm not like, I don't care for my abstract work at all, but
Really?
but it's like you got to start somewhere,
Yeah.
right? Like I was just kind of getting
You were
used
playing
to like
with shapes
I was painting,
and
and
vibrance
colors and all of
colors.
that.
Yeah,
Exactly, just
yeah.
like flow, whatever. I was trying
Yeah,
different things.
I loved it.
But I've always wanted to paint like surrealism and realism.
Yeah.
So I just like I always have drawn. Like as a kid, I would always draw in that observational drawing and figure drawing and stuff. So, you know, it wasn't completely unfamiliar, but I think I just I work from photographs, and I'm always like trying to make it look like the photograph I'm looking at. And I honestly think it was just over time I started to get better. What I realize now is I could have like YouTubed stuff a long time ago, or like it never even occurred to me to be like, I should Google how to oil paint, but I never did. And oil
Yeah.
painting is a different, you know, like acrylic and oil, they work differently, so you kind of have to work with them differently.
Yeah, you need the education portion.
But no one ever taught me that, so it was
Yeah.
literally trial and error.
Right.
But I mean, like, you know, it's worked out. I figured it out. Now I start to be like, oh, I should like Google how do you paint fur? Like I should look into that more after the fact. But whatever,
Yeah.
you can always be learning, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
I know, like I started to develop like the style of like the surrealism because I was making these surrealist collages,
right.
which I really love doing. I still do. I love doing them. And I that was a lot easier because I can cut things out with an X-Acto blade, like really intricate stuff, no problem. I think that's a little bit easier than the painting thing.
For sure.
But I liked creating those surrealistic scenes. And then for a while, people would see them and go, you know, you should try to paint this. And I would always go, that's a
How
lot of
you
that's
try
a
to
lot of
paint
work.
this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like these are photographs I'm putting together. That's a lot of
Right.
work. But then
But you're
eventually,
also developing the dexterity, right?
yeah,
You're drawing.
exactly.
So,
yeah.
you
Like
just
I've
hone
always
in on your
been
skills.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was honing skills, and
Yeah.
then just like practicing over and over, and you know, making a painting and going, this is getting there, but you know, these proportions are off or these angles are off, because when you're aiming for realism, that's what it is. It's
You have
shape,
to nail the
proportion,
proportions.
angles, that kind of thing. Light and
shading,
contrast value.
yeah.
But what happens is the more you do it, you develop like a more acute sense of those skills. So you're
Right.
able to see, oh, this is disproportionate, or oh, the values here, there's more contrast. So I think once you kind of develop that like visual acuity as you're working, your work kind of just gets better without you even realizing it, because you just get better at seeing, you know, what needs to be changed or what's working and what isn't.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting part about, trial and error, too.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I know this to be true because I made it mistake, 4 times and now I nail it.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
You go,
time.
okay, well, that didn't work and that was the wrong way of doing it.
Yeah.
Like, so much, I think, of what I do, I learned through trial and error. Because even, like, with the installations, every time I've come up with an installation, I've never done it before. It's always something where I'm like, well, I've never tried this, so we're gonna.
That's the exciting part about it.
Yeah, like it's exciting. And then like a couple years ago, I made one. I think you saw it, sculpture with the mirror. Like it's the acrylic mirror.
It's so awesome.
Like never made anything like that. Never worked with that material before. That was like that whole thing was trial and error. Because oh my god, like it was not easy.
Working with mirrors.
It was, and it's acrylic mirror, which is different than glass mirror, but it's also different than like plexiglass. Like it's specific.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot, and now if I ever did another one, which I would like to, I could, probably bypass some mistakes that I made the first time,
For sure.
knowing what I know now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, we talk about this all the time, and now we're at an age where like we do go for the education. We're like, I know somebody's done this already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn something first before I go and use resources and time and whatever.
Exactly.
So I think that is like an age thing. I don't know. For me, it was in my 20s. I was the same way. I'm gonna just
just
try
jump
this
in and
I'm
do
like,
it.
oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Now I'm like, okay, I'm searching for some research
Me
first,
too.
and then I go into it. Yeah.
Now I'm like, let's see what other people have said about this, or what materials do other people use for this, or how do they,
Yeah.
mix their oils or whatever. So
Yeah.
I now I'm realizing I'm like, probably could have saved myself some time if I just Googled
time
some
and
stuff.
heartache.
Yeah, right, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about Brock.
Oh yeah.
You can walk and talk.
you can go to Brock. And I did.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did linguistics. At least you did something
cool.
worthwhile.
Well, I wouldn't call it work. Well, I wouldn't say that. Even the teachers there were like, "What are you guys doing here?" Like,
Do you know you're paying for this?
yeah, that was part of the problem. I think.
Oh my God, no! I think it's
man.
great.
I got to be careful about what I say, because
No.
Brock is a very local university that a lot of people know and
Yeah.
go to, and
Whatever. We both graduated from it. We're repping it.
yeah. I can say what happens.
Yeah, we're alumni.
Yeah.
So yeah, talk to us about your studies at Brock.
Well, I studied visual art at Brock.
Yeah.
I did not learn how to paint at Brock. Like, I think
Yeah. What did you do in visual arts?
Well, I mean, we did like drawing and painting and sculpture, but I like was not good at it, or told that I wasn't very good at it, and didn't get a lot of like they didn't really teach you. They don't teach realism at all with the painting. Like they're not into that. They really want to push. And it's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine who was actually my high school art teacher. And she, went to Brock before I did, obviously. Mm-hmm. And she said even then it was like that, where they were really kind of pushing like abstraction or abstract expressionism. And it's funny because in the history classes, you learn all about realism and the Renaissance and Rococo and all these movements, but when you go in and you're like, I want to paint like this, they're like, no.
Maybe it was the time period that we were in university. Maybe that was popular.
I don't. Well, that's
was
what I mean.
out.
Though it's been going on since
Right,
My
that's
friend
what you said.
She's probably like 13 years older than me or so, and
3 generations of nothingness.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It was like the history and the state of the art, right? And people were just like going for perfection,
Right.
And then they could do these perfect realistic paintings, and then
you get bored of
everybody
that,
kind of
so
learned how to do it. So then now we're pushing more
So
the
now
creativity.
right?
It's
more like the creativity, the meaning behind it.
But I think you
Subjective.
can do such cool
Derivative.
Yeah, derivative.
So derivative.
Like, you can do really cool abstract with like a realist eye. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and you can have realistic art that still has deep meaning behind it too.
Yeah.
But so my experience there was that I didn't really learn. Like the way that I make art now, I think when people hear that I went to school for art, they assume that I learned how to paint like that in university.
Right.
And I didn't. And if you looked at my work in university, you would know I was not doing that kind of work back then.
Yeah.
Once I left Brock is when I really dove into painting and started to develop my style. Because the other thing was when I got there, I didn't know what kind of style I was interested in. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I was kind of doing all kinds of different stuff. And that's what I think you usually do at that age. Because you try it out and you go, okay, well, this is fun. Let's go with that. Or I want to try this. I really enjoyed the art history classes there. Like, I love the lectures. I'm like a huge history nerd. So that kind of stuff I loved. I really enjoyed. But the studio side of it, which is like the hands-on sculpture, drawing, painting, was very like discouraging. I don't want to say soul crushing. That might be a little too
it's harsh.
Too harsh. But it was like it wasn't like the happiest time, that's for sure. And I know that I'm not the only one, because there was a camaraderie in our class, because so many people, like, we were getting shit on by our teachers so much that we all kind of like trauma bonded a little bit. And I've talked to people since, and has been other people's experience. So I know that it wasn't like an isolated incident with me. I think that was like a lot of people.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah, like it was a bit discouraging. And
I think it's hard because like they have a curriculum, right? So there are a lot of times like they're dictating what the assignment is.
Right. But they weren't very like helpful with like they would go up and tell you that you sucked, but then they wouldn't tell you how to fix why you suck.
Yeah.
Like I would have like my painting teacher at one point, just like, because you paint and they make the rounds and you don't want them to stop, because if they stop, they have something bad to say. If they pass you, then you're like, okay, I'm doing okay.
Such a negative learning environment.
It was a negative not the lectures. The lectures were great. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, that's like information based, right?
Yeah, it's information based, and you don't have as much interaction with your professor. There's so many people in the class.
Right.
Whereas the studio classes, there was like 15 of you or something. So,
and like you said, I think it's that age time where you're kind of trying to discover yourself. So you're just like seeing all the different people's stuff, and you're like, I like that. I don't like that. I like that. I don't like that. So that would be like why your lecture resounded. But
the other thing is, it's like when you're that young and you're learning, it's like, okay, well, if I suck, then like help me get better. That's why I'm here. I'm here to learn how to get better at this.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much follow up with like my experience in high school with my high school art teacher. She would come around and go, oh, this looks great, but you need to tweak this part of it. Or if you look, you'll notice you made this a bit too big. If you shrink that, and when you have that kind of teaching experience, you're like, oh, great, I'm learning, and I'm still feeling encouraged. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And like I went on, I teach at Niagara College as well, and I would say the learning environment there is more like that, where it's encouraging. It's still like critical, but it's constructive criticism, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas at Brock, it was just straight up criticism.
Weird.
And like morale was so low, man. Like it was, was
it one teacher? No, obviously there's
there
more than
was
one
a
teacher.
couple teachers. Like it got bad that one of them got asked. She was a tenured professor. She'd been there for a long time, and she was very like verbally abusive, I would like, with the students. Like people would cry. At the end of one semester, so many people transferred to the other drawing teacher's class,
right?
That she ended up I shit you not, we went from a class of like 15 or 16. The second semester, she had 3 students in her class, and the poor other drawing teacher had to absorb all those other students because we found out you were allowed to transfer to a different, and we were all just like, we gotta go. Like this is, like it's 9 a.m. on Monday, and you're telling us literally that our parents have failed us all. That's what she said to the whole class. She was like, well, your parents have all failed you. I don't know how you got this far. This was third year.
Ready to retire.
Third year university. So I'm like, we're not that dumb or inept. Like we make it to the next year.
Yeah.
We all had like pretty good averages.
We're about to graduate at this point.
But she ended up getting asked to leave because it got bad enough that people were like, we're paying for this course. Not only are we not learning what we paid for, but we're also kind of being like talked down to. And when you're younger, you kind of like, you respect your professors and that, but then it just got to a point where I'm like, I don't feel like she should be talking to us like that.
You.
Yeah, like it was.
Yeah, I don't even value your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, some of them though, like I really, like my painting teacher who was harsh with me at the time, I really valued his opinion and I really wanted his validation, which I got eventually.
Yes.
Long after I graduated, and I went back and I showed him what I do now, and he was like, oh, this is good. This is good.
Oh my
He's
God.
like, but you know, your background needs work, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Okay.
But like that was
Such a
I was
weird
seeking
form
that
of
validation.
teaching. Like now,
It
yeah,
was weird.
I'm such a teacher.
I don't teach that way because I
No.
felt that it was not helpful for
No,
me.
it's not.
And it helped me, like, when I became a teacher, to be like, well, I know what not to do. Like, I would know.
You want to build people up.
Yeah, you want to build
Yeah.
people up and help them get to where they're
You
trying
want
to
to
go.
go. Yeah.
The point of teaching is
Teaching,
for people to learn
teach,
stuff.
yeah. You want to learn, not
Yeah.
just break them down. That's brutal.
So I graduated in 3 years instead of 4 because it was such a miserable experience for me. And
Really?
someone, Aaron, told me, he's like, you know, you can actually get a bachelor's degree in 3 years. You only need your 4th year if you want to go on to get a master's.
Oh.
So when I found that out, I was like,
Peace.
oh, well, yeah, peace.
We're
I'm
done.
out of here.
We're
yeah.
done here.
And I did. And, you know, and
Good for
it
you.
it was like a huge weight was off my, like I
Yeah.
realized how much it was just wearing on my energy and on how I felt about myself as an artist. Cause you're just starting out. I know I'm not the best, but like I'm trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And like when you're trying to get better at something and someone's kind of just telling you how bad you are at it, it doesn't help.
No.
You know?
Especially in the art world where like we already have all the odds against us that we're not going to be able to make money. We're going to be starving.
One
you
of our
know?
drawing teachers said that. Like I
You're
don't.
never going to make money on this.
Well, she said, I'm not going to swear because I'm assuming this is like a PG
Yeah.
podcast. But she said one day, and no, this was unprompted. Like no one even asked her. And she just said, I call my Bachelor of Fine Arts a Bachelor of Frig all, but she didn't say frig because she said that's about what it's worth. So then my friend Lisa goes, all right, I'm leaving. And she just got up and walked out of the class because she was like, why am I
Why
here?
would you say this
if the
to
lady
me?
who's teaching us is telling us that this degree is worth nothing. Like, we know that. We already know.
Yeah.
We're already telling our parents that, like,
trying to convince our
them
parents.
that we can get an arts degree.
There's famous people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it could lead to something. And
Yeah.
then you have the teacher being like, this isn't worth anything. Like, you guys are wasting your time. And we're like, well,
Oh,
thanks.
God.
This is great.
I think I always try to tell, like, because obviously, you know, I'm always trying to sell the arts
Yeah.
to my parents who are spending a lot of money for their kids to come
I
learn
know.
dance lessons.
Yeah.
But I really do believe, I think, like, especially now the world is changing so much that I think we're in a position where we're all going to be poor.
Exactly.
We're
It doesn't
broke.
matter.
We're all
it doesn't
broke.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Even if you get
must
that
have been-
fancy
yeah.
job, the company's going under, you're getting laid off.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
We're all broke.
Well, like that
So
can
I
happen.
think in a world like that, arts are the only tools that we're gonna have as a therapy.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
like we're all broke, so as long as we
Yeah.
have like something to do that really fulfills us and
Yeah.
makes us like have passion and
Yeah.
have interest and bonding experiences, I think like that's what our arts is now. So jokes on them. Who cares?
if it makes you happy, you should
none of
do
us are
it.
making money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I was
So,
very
yeah.
prepared when the pandemic hit.
Right?
Everyone
You're
was
like,
freaking
oh,
out. They're
buckle
like,
down.
I'm
Like,
getting
all
laid
right.
off. I'm like, this is my life, man. Not
Yeah.
knowing when the next paycheck is coming. Like, this is my moment. I
Yeah.
did so well during the pandemic.
Yeah,
I was very prepared.
so did we. We were like,
Like,
we're
I'm like,
good to
nothing has
go.
changed for me at all. Stay home and work? Sure, no problem.
They introduced like to your door groceries. I'm like,
Yeah.
and we're done here.
Yeah.
We're good. I never need to
yeah,
leave my
we don't
house.
need to do anything. Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. So do you want to talk to us about any projects that you're working on currently?
I am painting a lot because I'm exhibiting at the Toronto Outdoor Art Fair this July.
Come on.
My first time.
Amazing.
So we'll see how it goes, but I'm trying to like make some new work for that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What's the date?
it's July 11th to the 13th. It's a Friday to Sunday.
Fun. Okay.
All day outdoor. So I'm
11th
trying to get some new
13th.
paintings
Oh,
done.
we can
so
totally
I have
go.
some stuff to show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll come
if
watch.
you know anyone in Toronto, let them know.
Yeah,
I'm
we
going to
do.
be there.
We do.
Yeah, like
Where is it in Toronto?
Nathan Phillips Square.
Amazing. Oh
so
my God.
I've got I'll have a tent set up.
It's going to be like a art street festival?
It's like it's their 64th year, so it's a very like
Wow.
established art fair there.
Sorry, what's it called again?
The Toronto Outdoor Art Fair.
Toronto or Outdoor Art Fair. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so there's different Canadian artists from all over the country and different mediums of art. You know, like sculptures, jewelry makers, photographers, everybody, right? But
Amazing.
it's curated. Like you have to get in.
You had to apply.
You have to apply.
Cool.
but you can't sell prints if you're a painter. So it's only original works. So I'm just only going to have, I know, right?
Oh, wow.
So we'll see how it goes. If anything, I'm just hoping to get seen by people that.
Yeah.
Why would you make people sell
I think
their
because they don't want it to
originals?
turn into, well, you want to sell your originals because
They're worth the most
they're
money.
worth a lot of money. So I can make more
Jacob's
money.
art takes like 100 hours.
Yeah,
I don't think
mine
we could
too.
ever send that. Yeah.
Oh,
You just sell the originals?
how else am I going to earn that's my goal. My goal is to sell the originals. I need to make money, you know?
I would be so emotionally attached.
I'm emotionally attached to some of them.
Yeah.
And some of them are harder to let go than others. It helps if I feel like I'm happy with who the painting is going
For
with.
sure. Yeah.
But for the most part, like I need to make money. And
I
so
know.
originals, I want to get collectors. I want people, I want to get people
to
who buy
want your
more than one
originals.
painting from me. Yeah,
Oh my
like
gosh.
because then I can earn a living. So
Yeah.
it'd be good to sell originals,
Yeah.
or just to be even seen by people in Toronto who don't know me, because it's a bigger audience out there. So
For sure.
Yeah.
More people with bigger money.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what we're
people that
hoping
can
for.
afford art,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean, it's a logistical thing. I think for all of us that are like creating art, it's hard to find buyers that are like willing
Totally.
to put the money into
Well,
it.
I do a lot of payment plans with people, which helps a lot, I find.
Nice.
Like I've had, a number of my works that have sold to people who are definitely not rich, but they take months and months to pay for it, and I'm fine with that.
It's kind of nice.
And
And
then
you don't
it's
get like
nice
a big,
'cause-
huge, for budgeting.
Yeah, like I don't think about it, and then every month I get a little bit of money, and
Right.
then for them it's not like breaking the bank because they don't have to put
Fork
up
it
all
all
the
at
money at
once.
once.
That's
Yeah.
a good
Great
idea.
idea.
That's
yeah,
a really
I have
good
someone
idea.
right now who messaged me about a painting. She really, really wanted it, and then I said, I do payment plans, by the way, and we worked on something that works for her, and I'm happy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not like I need to sell it immediately. I'm fine to
Yeah.
hold on to it until she's able to pay it off. And so some of my work sells to people who are wealthy, but some of it just sells to people who are
Just love it.
Yeah,
It
who
speaks
just
to
like it,
them.
and or they save up for it or whatever. They pay it off, on a monthly thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what for the festival, did you like pick like a certain like theme? Are you doing like a specific style, or you're just
I'm doing like
batching it out?
doing the painting. You can't sell more than one media. Like I can't do collages and painting. You have to decide which one. I think they just want it very like curated and,
Yep.
and organized.
They want it to
probably.
look specific.
And I think they don't want it to look like a craft fair, because it's not like arts. It's not like a market where you can buy soap and candles, and it's like just fine art.
Okay.
So I think they want it very like curated. So I went with paintings because that's kind of more what I'm trying to push and get out there.
Yeah.
So all the paintings I've been working on more recently, they're all kind of in that same style. They have, the same look to them, or the same type of themes and
Like
stuff
retro,
like that. Yeah,
retro
the like
vintage.
mid-century
Cool.
aesthetic. So I feel like they all kind of go well together, but
Cool.
I've just been working on getting like some new ones done so that I have like enough to show. I started working on some smaller ones so I can have them at a lower price point, so that I'll have a bit of a range for prices.
Right.
But it's kind of like, it's a good exhibition opportunity. So I want to have like a cohesive body of work that represents what I do, so that when
Huge
people see it-
undertaking.
Yeah, it's nerve wracking.
Yeah.
It's good because I need a deadline. Like
Yeah.
it helps me.
Yeah,
to get
it's nice
things
to
done.
we have like a recital coming up, and yeah, just seeing like all the
You get
pieces
shit-
all come
you get shit
together.
done when there's a
yeah.
deadline, right?
Yeah, and all the different dances all coming together all in like one show is
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
How many artists are there?
Close to 400.
Holy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big space. We've been there for a couple times for concerts. Is that where the North by Northeast is? In Toronto at the Danforth?
What? No, not at the Danforth.
Oh, sorry.
This is a Bay Street and Queen Street West, I think.
Oh,
think
what did you call it? Dundas.
Nathan Phillips Square.
Okay. I always get those two mixed up. Is there Dundas
You know where that
Square and then
Toronto
Danforth?
sign is, where it says Toronto in those big
Oh,
letters?
yeah, okay.
It's like there.
Okay, Nathan
the
Phillips
downtown.
Square. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we've been to like... we've
You've
been to
probably
close to all
been
of them.
there
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
humongous.
a popular place and it's downtown.
That's
so,
wild. Oh, I'm
yeah.
excited. It's
So I'm
gonna be
looking
so
forward
fun.
to that, getting my work done.
Yeah.
Want to make like a good impression when I'm there. I've only
Yeah.
shown in Toronto like once before. which it went well, and I, like got seen by a lot of people who really enjoyed it. So I feel like there's an audience there.
For sure.
You got to go and put yourself out
Also,
there.
it's nice to network in those environments,
Absolutely,
right? Because like there might be people that have galleries that want to house you.
There definitely is, because a lot of what I've heard too from other artists is they'll say, even if you, if nothing happens over that weekend, you might be getting emails after the fact from curators or gallery owners or
cool.
Yeah, because that's all those types of people go to these shows to kind of scout
network
artists and network.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, so I guess I'm imagining. I mean, you said that you're teaching still, but how do you kind of balance that, like, work time, your art time, especially like when a lot of times you're creating something that like doesn't have a buyer yet, right? So you're just like,
almost always.
Almost always. So how do you balance those like different facets and time?
I've started, I would say like years ago, like 2018 or so, I was still in the mindset of like, if I was making art that didn't have a buyer yet, I would feel guilty the whole time I was making it, because I would always just think like I'm spending hundreds of hours. I'm not making money on this now. Should I be doing something else right now where I could be making money?
Yeah.
And I spent like years doing that, and it just was making me miserable. And I started to just like, realize that. And I just started to say, you know what, this is what I'm doing. I'm taking this on as a career. I need to get over that fear of like, I'm putting 140 hours into this painting and I might never sell it.
What if it sits in my basement?
Might sit in my basement for a decade and I never make any money off of it.
Right.
Because that's just a risk that you have to be willing to take when you do this. But since I've kind of shed that fear, I get to enjoy painting, and I kind of look at it like what we were saying about, afterwards somebody might contact you. I'm still working to create a body of work. I'm still working at making myself a better artist. So no time is wasted, like just because something doesn't sell right away doesn't mean it was a waste of time. I'm practicing my craft. Eventually I'll sell something, and all those hours I put into it are worth it, because without them I wouldn't be able to create the work that eventually hopefully sells.
Yeah. So, that's why they're buying it, because you put in all those hours.
Because I put in all these hours.
Create,
yeah.
He always says that too. He's like, what all of a sudden if I get a following, I don't have enough stuff to like.
Honestly, like you need to, and I've had that happen too, where like not necessarily selling work, but when people come to you with exhibition opportunities and they'll say, hey, do you have any works available? We'd love to show you here, or, you should apply to this or that. I've had times where people have approached me and I'm like, oh, all my paintings are out on display at other places right now.
I'll go collect all my stuff.
Yeah, like I don't have my stuff, you're going to have to wait until next month, or, so it's never a bad idea to keep creating, or, there's slow times where I'm not selling anything, but then all of a sudden stuff will start selling, and then I'll go, oh, okay, I've, half my paintings are sold.
Working.
I got to start making more again.
Yeah.
But you have to be okay with, not a steady paycheck and not knowing when something is going to sell. Sometimes I'll paint something. I've painted stuff, 6 years ago. It's still sitting there and hasn't sold. Another painting, I'll finish it, put it on display. It's barely even dry. And then someone buys it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get very much time with that painting, those ones I miss a little bit, where I'm like, I didn't get to really appreciate it. I didn't
fall in love with it, and then get mad at it that it's not sold. Is there a place that you are like, if our listeners are looking to purchase or looking to look at your stuff, do you have I
have a website.
I looked at your website, but all your work's not on there.
All the paintings are on there for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say emilyandrews.ca has my paintings and my collages. Not all the collages, but even then, like a lot of the collages on there have since sold.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's like, when people, definitely when people buy art, especially from like an independent artist, and that, like, that's what pays the bills. That's what keeps my job going, which is great.
Right.
And I try to do that too. Like that down payment that I got the other day for the painting.
Yeah.
I bought a collage from a Hamilton artist because I was like,
so
hey,
nice.
I can spare a couple bucks.
This. Yeah.
Which it made me so happy, and I love it. So
Yeah.
I not only sell art, but I do buy art too, and I try to support local artists in that.
Right.
But yeah, you can, on my website, you can peruse if you want to, and then just inquire.
Yeah, look at that. Cool. Do you have like a specific like kind of routine or like time? This is my like biggest worst situation for art is that, you know, trying to budget your time. Do you like wake up in the morning and have a thing and like
I don't paint in the morning. I don't know if I've ever painted in the morning.
Okay.
I paint at night almost
Really?
always. Oh yeah. Like sometimes I don't start until like 8 or 9 at night. And then I'll paint till like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Is it because it's quiet or you just have like
I think
your energy at that
I'm one
time
of those
or like
people
night
that's
owl?
more creative at night or feels more like into. I'm not a morning person at all.
What's
Yeah,
your
I get
zodiac
that
sign?
too.
Aries.
Okay.
Why does that mean I'm
I have no
prone to
idea.
being at night?
No, I'm not sure, but yeah, there are like certain signs that are like drawn by the moon or drawn to the sun.
I've never been like getting up early has never been natural to me.
Okay.
Even when people are like, once you get into the routine, it's like,
Nope.
no, I can do it for months.
I'm
and
not gonna
still,
force that routine, bud.
But like late at night, I'm always like, okay, I'm ready to paint. So
Cool.
I probably don't manage my time as well as I should. Like I should have more of a routine probably, and that would probably be like, I don't know, more beneficial.
Artists typically don't because they're just
I think
they're inspired
I
or
don't.
they're not.
Yeah, like I try to do the stuff I don't like doing, like emails, computer stuff. I try to do that during the day to like get it done.
For sure.
Like I said, I'm not crazy about making social media content, but I do because you kind of have to.
Yeah.
And that I kind of do like while I have to do that while I'm, you know, working on a painting or, you know, whatever the creation
sometimes
process.
it's like a progression. So you have to be
so I
like,
have to,
okay, I'm going to stop and
I
make
know,
this video.
take a picture, do a video. Oh, did I get that picture the other day? Yeah. So I usually will do that while I'm working.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, I tend to spend the first half of my day doing like walk the dog, clean the house, cook, or, you know, do the yard work or whatever, do some emails. And then in the evening is when, like after this, I'll probably go home and start working on the painting I'm working on. Just because I always do it at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But I try
till super late. If you're not starting at 8, when are you finishing?
Like especially in the winter. In the winter, I work until 2 or 3 in the morning regularly. Crazy. But the thing is, when the weather gets nice like this, I want to be outside as much as I can.
Right.
So I try to, if I can take time off during the summer months, I do. Like, and I like kind of let myself.
You're teaching?
Well, I'm not like I you know, teaching doesn't start till September. So
that's what I mean. Like you're off in the summer, right?
I don't even think of it as that because I only teach like once a week anyway. It's like very minimal. Sometimes not at all.
Oh,
so
that's great.
It's very random. Yeah, like the teaching is like, you know, 3 hours a week. It's not.
Just so you have contact with civilization.
Yeah, honestly.
Just so you get out of your house.
Honestly, you don't know how many times when I, you know, have like a Tuesday class or whatever, and I'll be like, yeah, I haven't gotten the car since last Tuesday. Like,
is my car gonna start?
Yeah, like I don't have to leave if I don't have to leave, and it's not that I'm trying to be a hermit, but I like working. I like doing like I think I really enjoy the type of work I do. Yeah. So as much as it sometimes is work, it's sometimes difficult. Sometimes I don't want to do it. Yeah. A lot of the time I like doing it, so I don't mind. If I'm like, you know, in my studio and like not going out in the winter. In the summer, I'll go out. In the summer, I'll go and do things.
There's more to do.
Well, I'm always cold. So in the winter, I'm like, ooh, it's cold. I have to get more layers on. It's a whole thing. Yeah. So I use the winter to like get a lot of painting done usually, or collage or whatever.
Done. Yeah.
And then in the summer, if I can, some summers are busy and you got to make hay while the sun shines. Yeah. So if I get a job, I do the job. Right. But if I can take off time in the summer, I like to because I would just like to sit out in the sun and read and relax.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think that's most artists. Especially Canadian artists, we just hibernate. You only get all so much time. And then, in the summer, we're like, yay. Yeah. Or all the musicians we've had, they're just like, oh, yeah, like we don't play all winter. And then in the summer, we're playing like, you know, 2 or 3 gigs a day.
Absolutely. That's the time.
It's bananas.
That's when it's really busy. Yeah.
So you had kind of touched on it before, but can you talk to us just kind of about your Niagara Falls community involvement? Obviously, you talked about the museum, but how did you get involved in that, and what's it look like now? Just calling you every week.
No, that would be nice.
Emily, help us.
I've gotten so many really nice jobs through like the city or through the museum. Like I got involved in the Niagara art scene when I was 18, turning 19, right when I was going to Brock, which was actually very nice because again, I had a few friends at Brock, but it was a bit of a negative experience. And then hanging out with mostly older people in the Niagara, because again, I was like 18 and they were all, you know, in their late 20s, early 30s, some in their 40s, some in their 70s. But hanging out with the Niagara art scene was like the opposite. Everyone was so encouraging.
Positive.
Everyone was so like inclusive. Like, oh, you like making art? I make art. We should do a show together. Like, it was so easy. Everybody welcomed me. A lot of like collaboration going on. So I've always been very grateful that, like, and I'm sure you guys can attest, all the artists that come out of Niagara, it's not really like a competitive scene.
Not cutthroat.
It's more like, oh, we should work together. And I love that because I'm not a very competitive person anyway.
I feel like everybody's friends.
But yeah, we're friends, and you know, if you're doing a show, I'll come to see your show. You'll come to see my show. Like I think it's been so beneficial. It's nice because then you get to work with people. You get to learn things. Like, started to work with Adam Buller and Katie Webb with Brain Kite. Like, they've taught me so much. And you know when you learn from working with people, you know, even like Jeff and all these other artists that you're around, when you either doing shows with them or collaborating or just being around them, like networking and that, you learn so much. So it's a really it's been a very helpful experience. And then getting jobs with the museum and that, like, some of those are just like dream jobs. Like, it's so much fun or the Niagara Night of Art, you know, I've done a lot with the Niagara Night of Art, and it's just so much fun when you apply with a project and you're like, here's my really weird idea. Please take a chance on me and give me some money to make this, and it's going to be cool. And I've done some where you can tell, you know, like some of the staff at the museum are like, I don't know,
sure?
Is this going to look good? And I'm like, just wait, don't worry, it's going to look good. Just trust me, put your faith in me. And then because I always deliver on what I say I'm going to do, especially if it's for somebody else. I can't let people down. So I've been very, very lucky. And it's funny because I think, you know, I started getting involved like with the Night of Art, you know, when I was younger. And I think that's when they were really like taking a chance on me with some things. But I think I've built a bit of a reputation now where I've had experiences where they call me and they'll go, we need someone to build this. We think you would be the person to do it. Do you want to do this job? Or like at the new exchange facility, like the coffee tables at the cafe there. You know, like Kim Van Stigeren, she said, we're looking for like,
I just called her yesterday.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
she's great.
I love her.
Yeah, she's done so much too for the Niagara art scene. Like, it's crazy how much she's done.
Between her and Beth Angle, and they're just like amazing.
For sure. Them. So she, you know, they had a specific project. They wanted Niagara history themed collages, and I was like, I am your girl for that job. For this job. Exactly. And when I was doing it, I'm like, this is literally the perfect job for me. Like,
can this just keep going?
Yeah, like,
can we have a weekly of this?
Yeah. So I've gotten very lucky with some really cool projects that I've got to do where it's a job and it's great because it helps pay my bills. But I genuinely love doing it. I have so much fun with it. And then when I'm done, I'm so proud of the work and can't wait to like share it with people and, you know, create something that other people can enjoy. Because that's like the best part about art, honestly. Like,
it's the community.
Making money is important. And if you choose it as a career path, that's one of the most important things, because you have to make money. Otherwise, you know, I can't eat.
Right.
But just a little bit above that, is how it reaches people and how it connects to people and what it means to other people. Because when I get feedback from people about either a song that I wrote or a painting that I made or an installation, and they have something like important that they want to share with me about their experience with it.
How it resonated.
That means, honestly, that's the stuff that like makes my week. When somebody reaches out and says, oh my God, I've been listening to your song on repeat, and it, you know, right now at this time in my life, it's really resonating. Like, it's stuff that I'm like, oh my God, you're going to make me cry. Like, it's, you know, and then those are the days where, on any days where you're questioning yourself or you're thinking, oh, should I just be getting a real job? Like, what am I doing? Those are the days where I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm doing what I'm meant to do. I'm really happy with what I'm doing, and it means the world to me, you know?
Yeah, I think as an artist, I mean, I want to say like, I want to try to think of another word, but you tend to be so in your head about yourself and your work that like you need that community involvement. You need to step out and have other people give you that feedback so that you can get out of your own head and be 100%. Like, okay, let's bond over this. You know? And I think that's why the community is so powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like as an artist, especially when you're creating your work, like for me, it's mostly by myself. So the majority of my time is spent alone in my head, working on creating it. Yeah. And I, put in however many months of work with painting, for example. And then there's one night that's like, the opening of my exhibition. So all those months accumulate into one night. Yeah. And then when you have that one night and you connect with everyone and you talk, you're like, oh yeah, I really needed this. I really needed to get out of my studio, share the work, talk about it with other people, get their take on it. Yeah. It's very fulfilling. Like totally. I always kind of forget about that part because I'm so fixated on getting the work done, getting it done to like my standard of quality. And, it's very, I don't want to say like selfish, but
that's what I was saying. Self-centered,
it's self-driven, because it's your relationship between you and your work, and I'm making it for myself. Yeah,
so you're not trying to be selfish, but like how else would you create something?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's you and your dance studio. Like what else is there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I spend a lot of time.
Luckily, I have 10 kids to yell at.
Now you have other, you can bounce that energy off of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But you definitely need those events and occasions where you're sharing the work with other people and the social part. Yeah. And it's very, it's very uplifting experience for sure.
Yeah, I think that's why we're getting so we're enjoying the podcast too, right? It's all our friends that we see at these events and we're just like, come and hang out for a chat.
Exactly.
And kind of having those voices that again, it's just supplementing our community.
Yeah, and awesome. People who can understand where you're coming from, we all kind of share those experiences. So it's nice to talk to other people who get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking about other people who get it. Oh, yeah. Life with Nathaniel Gould. Yeah. This is what I put as the title. I was dying laughing. So me and Nate went to high school together. Right. I think we've talked about him with other people on the podcast. Do you want to kind of talk about your relationship with your partner, you guys both being so creative?
Yeah. Well, it's never boring, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
There's always something going on. We definitely have a lot of fun. It's nice being with another creative because you have all of that in common.
Right.
And you can kind of share the work with somebody.
Yeah.
It's nice because you get to see each other creating, whatever you're working on. You're kind of getting to see the infancy of that project, which a lot of people aren't getting to see. They see, the final result.
Right.
It's neat, hearing him play a song and I'll be like, yeah, I remember when he was writing that song. I remember when he was figuring it out and working through it. That's kind of a very cool, behind the scenes, advantage
that you only get when you're with a partner.
When you're living with the person who's doing it. So
yeah, you get to be each other's cheerleaders,
Yeah, he's a very good sounding board for me. He's I always get his opinion on my work while I'm working on it. He has a very critical eye. He's not afraid to tell me if something doesn't look right or if he thinks it needs to be changed or something like that. And I trust his artistic opinion. So
on your painting?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. He'll walk in because now we're so comfortable with each other. And I'll go, well, what do you think of this so far? And he'll, well, you're going to change that, right? That's not done, is it? I'll be like, no, it's not done. But it's getting there. Well, good. Because it's not finished yet. It doesn't look like the photo. It needs some work. So he's very honest, which is good.
Yeah.
But I trust his eye because he has a good eye. He builds things and he has a very good eye for aesthetics and that. So he'll look and he'll go, bring up the picture. Are you sure? I feel like you made this arm too wide. Let me look at the picture and reference,
Yeah.
So it's nice. I always ask him to look at my work while I'm working on it.
Nice.
Just to kind of check in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
to
you
get
need that.
another
I'm
eye, yeah,
alone
you
all
get
the
another
time.
person.
So it's
Yeah.
nice to have, and you
Yeah.
have to be careful who you ask, because sometimes people, they might not know and they don't know what to say, or so you have to, I always think if you're asking someone's opinion on your specific craft,
Right.
be selective about who you're asking.
Yeah.
You know, like you want to trust their, like if
Yeah,
you're working on dance,
someone could like throw your vibe off, right? And then you're just like, oh,
but
you
then
put
it's
the
like
seed
they
in
don't
me.
even
You
know
don't
what
even
they're
know what you're talking about.
right? So you want
either your work is in jeopardy or your relationship with that person's in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So you're just like, and we're done here.
Like
I'll
my
never
mom
ask
will
you
have
again.
criticisms, and she'll be like, well, you have a lot of empty space here, and I'm like, right, the negative space is important to balance out the composition. Don't worry about that, and then by the end she's like, oh, you're right, I get it, I agree, this does look fine. So you got to know who you're asking for their advice and opinion. But
are your parents artistic?
my father is very artistic.
Okay.
He can do almost just about anything. He builds everything. He draws. He paints. He more recently gone into like sign painting, which is very like precise, like lettering and stuff with the long brushes and that.
Wow.
He's very, very talented.
Sign painting? Like
sign
he's
painting,
making like signs
those
for
old
people?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mostly he does it for himself and that, but lately he's been building lamps out of recycled objects. They're very cool.
That's so
yeah,
cool.
I'll have to show you. They're very, very cool.
Yeah.
But he does everything. He's always built, and he's he's a mechanic as well, so he can do all kinds of things. But he's always been very artistic.
Yeah.
He was artistic as a kid. His father was artistic, and his uncle, like, it runs in that side of the family. My uncle was like a painter and sculptor kind of.
Cool.
And my dad, when I was a kid, we would always draw together, or, even coloring books, like everything. He was always interested in doing that. So I've always liked, I've always kind of done art because my dad definitely was always doing
into
art.
it.
And he still does now that he's retired, especially.
Oh, more than ever.
He's got more time to do that
yeah.
kind of stuff and try different things and that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like I get a lot of my skill from him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like I guess the inspiration, like we said, right? Like the natural part, the natural talent. It seems like it's just the draw towards it.
Absolutely.
The interest in it.
So I've always been
enough to make
interested,
it,
right?
yeah.
Because it's always been around me. Like even my my papu, my grandfather would, like, he would doodle, like he would draw cartoons and monsters. They really liked the old, like the old monsters, like Frankenstein and Dracula and that, like from the 1930s.
Yeah, I guess
and
that would have been like okay. I was gonna say that's cartoon.
The black, the black and white film era and that, but he would draw these like kind of scary monsters and characters, and we'd be, at their house for dinner, and he was a quiet kind of guy, but he would just be like sketching something on a napkin, and then he'd slide it over to you, and it would be, like this monster with his claws up and that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was always like doodling and drawing. I always had sketchbooks as a kid, and I would find like, what I would use is like VHS cases, and I would try to draw, like I would try to copy like a cereal box or a VHS case, like fonts and characters and people and cartoons and that. And that, like as a kid, that's what I would do. I would look at something and then try to copy it.
Wow. Yeah. I feel like that was an early like art project in grade school.
Yeah.
They would try to get us to do that, right?
I think maybe.
I remember doing that. Or no, you know what I think? It was like
the
the cereal box. They would like bring in cereal boxes, and we're going to like color or try to draw what's on the cereal box.
Okay.
I don't know. I had a teacher that always did that with us. I think that was her only art lesson, actually.
Yeah. That's all we ever
Thanks
did.
a lot, Miss Cable.
Just drawing cereal boxes.
Yeah. But again, it's that like drawing off real life, right?
You're trying
to
like
draw
you're practicing
from a picture.
those skills.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like your Opa did that too, right?
What's that?
He drew from a picture. He would take like a photograph and then paint from a picture.
Yeah, typically. So like that was kind of what he did, like, with my dad and his brothers and sisters. But like they would go camping, but the goal of camping was to take photographs of the landscape, and then he was an amazing watercolor painter.
Nice.
And he did some oils too, but yeah, and then he'd be in his room painting everything and not watching his kids, but
I'm sure they all worked out okay.
They're fine.
Yeah, they did okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you got to start somewhere. I would draw
totally. He
people
was
even
amazing.
I used to work at a video store when I was a teenager, and I would draw
Was
like
it
the
Blockbuster?
customers. No, it was
Like
it
the
was a
video store?
No. It was a very different. It was We Got 'Em Video.
Oh, I
and
remember that
tanning
place.
because we had tanning booths also.
Whoa.
And I used to call it We Don't Got 'Em Video because we
didn't have the videos anymore?
because we weren't Blockbuster. So
Right.
if there was like a new movie out, we had like 1 or 2 copies.
Right. Isn't
And-
that crazy
But
that
it
we
was
did
cheap.
that?
It was cheap though. It was cheaper than Blockbuster. We had a good VHS,
Like
like old
$2?
release section. Well, we had
Yeah.
a deal: 5 movies, $5, 5 days.
Wow.
In the old releases, not new releases, but old ones, you could go in and
Wow.
get 5 movies for $5, 5 days. That's a pretty good deal.
That's such a
Yeah.
good deal.
Yeah. So, but I would have customers come in, and while they were browsing in that, because I was like in high school, and at that point I was interested in art, I would bring my sketchbook and I would like sketch them while they were, walking through the shop and all that.
Right. Oh, it's fun. I feel like any job where you get to like, get paid and do your art on the side.
Oh my God, that was the best job I've ever had. I would do that job
Jake
again
had
in
a
a
few of
heartbeat.
those.
We got to watch
Yeah,
movies.
one.
I'd literally have my friends
Yeah.
come visit me, and I would put a movie in, and they would just sit there, and
Yeah.
like we weren't that busy most of the time,
No.
so I would just hang out and do my
God.
homework and
That's a
watch
great
movies.
job.
It was like the best job. I
Yeah.
was so sad with
We don't have those
the death
anymore.
of video stores. Yeah.
Yeah. The death of video stores.
There was a culture
totally.
there because people,
Yeah.
people would come in, and I was good because I've always been into movies and acting.
I was
and
just
that.
going to say, if you're into
I
it.
was very into it. So
Yeah.
people would come in and they'd be like, I'm looking for a movie. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it's about. George Clooney's in it. It came out like a few years ago. I think it's popular. And I'd be like,
Bam.
Is it Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And they'd be like, that's it. So I was great at that job. And
Yeah.
I would get to know some of the customers to the point where like they all knew me, and I would know their phone number. So when they came in, they didn't have to get. I'd have them pulled up on the screen all ready to go because I would
Wow.
know their name or their first digits of the phone number. But a few times people came in looking for a movie that we didn't have, and I had a pretty extensive DVD collection because it was
Wow.
remember the era where you'd go to like HMV or Sunrise. And you take your extra cash and buy, the 2 for $15.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. But I would,
Look at our faces.
if someone came in and wanted a movie that we didn't have, but I had it, I would go, come back tomorrow. I'll bring you my
Wow.
copy. And I would lend out my own DVDs.
$5.
For
5
free. No,
movies,
for free. I
$5.
would just lend them out because I'd be like, that's a good movie.
Good
you
for
should
you.
watch it.
Aw, that's
and
so
I would,
nice.
they would come back and bring them back. But why not,
Wow.
right?
You were the best at
This
that
was
job.
before like streaming and like there wasn't
For
any
sure.
like, I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
go online. Like DVDs, that
That
was the
was
only
it.
way to watch it.
Yeah,
right?
that was the
So-
only way to get your hands on
Yeah,
movies. That's
exactly.
amazing. You were amazing at that job.
I was so, you know how good I was at that job? I'm not kidding though.
Someone
I worked there
remembered
for
you?
a year.
Okay.
Yeah, people remembered me years later. They go, video store girl. But no, I worked there for a year. When I was like 14 to 15, I worked there.
Wow.
Then the guy who owned it sold it, and they kind of like fired us all, hired new people. So then I was like, whatever, I got another job at Food Basics, right? Which
Yeah.
I hated. Then in that year, those people sold it again. It got bought by a new couple. And I had heard, because we used to go to that video store. I lived on that side of town.
Yeah.
So I knew there was new owners now, and I'm like, I'm
gonna
gonna
try
I'm gonna get my
again.
job back because I love working there.
Yeah.
And one day on my lunch break at Food Basics, because We Got 'Em Video was right
beside
across the street
it.
from
Yeah,
Food Basics.
yeah.
So I went to the video store on my lunch break, and these people had just bought the store. And I said, hey, I'm just wondering if you guys are hiring. I used to work here. Like, I know the system. I know how it works. You know,
the customers.
Yeah, I know the customers. I have a good rapport.
Yeah.
Are you looking to hire? And this lady's like, no, we're not really hiring. Like, we just bought the store. It's my husband and I. We don't really need anybody. And I'm in like my uniform and everything. And I said, well, I'm working at Food Basics now and I hate it. And I would really love to work here. Like, even if it's just a couple hours a week, I'm like, I just need to have a job so my parents know that I have a job. It doesn't have to be a lot.
Yeah.
But like just enough that
gotta
I can
work a
quit my
little.
job and just say that I have a job here.
Yeah.
And she literally goes, all right, fine. Come in on Friday and we'll like retrain you or whatever. And I was like, sweet. So then I quit Food Basics and I worked there again
rehired
until
there.
it closed for good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I talked
a great
my way
story.
into the job.
That's amazing.
And then sure enough, all the customers were like, didn't you work here like a year or two ago? I'm like, yes,
yes,
I
I
did.
did.
I'm
Got my
back.
job back.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby.
Back, baby.
Oh my god.
Yeah, those were the days.
So my question was, have you ever? But I know you guys are now. You and Nate are working on some music projects projects together. And they're amazing.
We have Electric Wildlife, which is our little duo, our folk
Love
duo.
it.
So we have
so good.
Yeah, so we have a show coming up actually. June. Oh, it's June already.
It's June already.
June 22nd. Yeah,
Amazing.
we have a show at the Exchange. It's a
Come
nice
on.
free show. Really great lineup. If you look it up, the Mandevilles are playing, Minuscule is playing, Zach Burry is playing. A lot of
Oh my
good.
God. I'm so glad you came on this podcast.
Yeah.
Fill up my social
I'll
calendar.
let you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mark your calendar, free family
That's
event.
perfect. We
Bring
were
the
actually
kids.
supposed to be gone to Timmins, but our daughter
Oh.
signed herself up for a talent show.
Oh, well, that'd be fun though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, why not? Are you involved in the talent
No.
show? Okay, well then you don't have to do it.
We were supposed to be up north, but now we can come.
Yeah, you can come
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, it was
and
a
then
blessing
go to
in
Timmins
disguise.
after.
Yeah, the talent show's on like the Monday, so I'm like, fine, we'll stay for your talent show.
Yeah.
How could you be
What-
an artistic mom and then
You have
be
to.
like,
What is
exactly.
she doing? What's her? Is dancing
Yeah.
cool?
Yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be fun, man.
But actually, she's at that age where I was like, oh, like, do you want mommy's help? I'll help you choreograph. She's
Right.
like, no.
Oh, she's
no,
got this.
I got this.
She's got
yeah,
it.
she didn't want my help at all.
Yeah.
Do you know?
The
have you
dance is
seen?
actually, yeah, she showed it
Okay.
to me a few times
Okay.
now. Well, the first time she showed it to me, she had like a count of 8. I'm like, dude, your dance is 10 seconds. Like, what are you
Right.
going to do? And then the next day she came back and they had the whole thing choreographed.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was also thinking like, okay, so when can you start working for me?
Yeah, I was gonna say the apple doesn't fall
Do you
far,
want a job?
right? So
Do you want a job, man? You
Yeah,
got it
get
next
in line.
year. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so what's the date again? 22nd. June 22nd.
22nd,
At the
yeah.
Exchange. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll tell everyone about that. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, how do you support and inspire each other? You kind of were talking about some of the critical stuff, but
Yeah. Well, I feel like we're both very supportive of each other because, like, we both understand what it's like to live that artist life.
yeah.
So it's kind of easy in that sense. Like, you know, there's no, I think if you were with someone who was working more of a regular day job, maybe you'd have to feel the need to justify, like I said, I'm upstairs all day, every day, making paintings for God knows who. I'm not making any money off them. Right. But, and
Right.
he's, you know, playing music or whatever, but since we're both living that life and we understand how important it is to ourselves, I think we're really supportive of what the other one does.
Totally.
And also you said, how do you inspire each other? He's like my muse for a lot of things. You know, I use him as a model for paintings and stuff like that. And which he's always very good about. It's very nice that he's willing to do whatever pose for me, or even
Yeah.
like I'll draw him to practice because that's something I don't do enough of, but
Yeah.
practice drawing. And I teach observational drawing, so I kind of have to be on top of that and practicing that.
Right.
And I love doing figure drawing. Like I love drawing people from real life.
Yeah.
That's one of the best like skill sets to practice.
Clothed or naked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the fun thing is it could be either or because, you know, he's my partner, so it's nice.
Yeah.
Mostly, though, if you look through, the majority of them is him from the side sitting and watching TV because it's always like the same.
I was going to say,
know,
is it just him sleeping?
Yeah, like honestly, back in the day, I could get him to stand up and he would do different poses and I
Yeah.
would time them in that.
Now
Now
it's
it's
like, this
more
is what
like,
you get.
okay, we're watching something. Okay, just are you comfortable? Hold that pose for
my
10
God.
minutes and let me draw it and that. And,
Hilarious.
yeah. But it's nice to have somebody who understands that and is willing to kind of go along with it. And
Yeah.
and he's very you know, like sometimes with art installations especially, I hire him to work for me.
Right.
And he's very helpful in that way. And he's always
construction based.
Yeah,
all
he's
the
very
things,
good
yeah.
with like the planning, the logistics of it. He's willing to put up with like my weird ideas. Like one time I had us going to a junkyard multiple times to collect rear view mirrors from cars
Oh
because
my
that was like the
God.
project that I was working on and getting paid to work on, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
They all laughed at me when I was a kid and started collecting rear view mirrors. My mother was like, "What are you doing with all these mirrors?"
Like,
and I'm
one
like,
day.
one day the City of Niagara Falls is going to pay me for this. And
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, but he puts up with it and he helps me if I have a project where I know I'm going to need help with it.
Yeah.
You know, he's not only helpful in doing the work, but he, like I said, he has like a critical eye for things. You know,
Right.
he'll look at an idea and go, well, how are we going to do this? We need to, you know, figure out the logistics. And
Yeah.
here's your options. This, you know, or just give me a constructive criticism.
Right.
And I think we work well together in that way. Like he understands, I think, what my vision is, which is helpful.
Yeah.
Like he'll
You
know.
guys have been friends for so long.
We've been friends
right?
for such
So,
a
yeah.
long time.
Kind of knows like your vibe.
Yeah, and I think we became friends because we had so much in common to begin with. Like
Yeah.
we were already kind of on the same page with so many things. We like a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
So I think that helps. Like if we were stylistically, if we were so different, that might make it a little more difficult. But I think because we both enjoy the same kind of aesthetics a lot of the time, and he knows, you know, what I'm going for with, you know, my visions of my work and that. So I think that helps when he's working with me on all these random projects.
I think too, like people who aren't artists don't understand this, but like they just see you as an artist and they're like, oh, you're so confident, you know, you do your art and you put yourself out there, and they don't realize how like every single time it's so scary. You're like, every single time you're thinking, no one's gonna like this, no one's gonna come, I'm putting on a concert, no one's showing up. Like you always just have this kind of like, you know, fear and doubt in your thing. So I think even just your partner, you know, we've put stuff on events or whatever and we're like, oh, no one's here, but like your partner showing up is just like, it's okay,
you're not alone,
just
in
that
it.
One person came, it's
absolutely.
enough. So
yeah,
I see that with you guys all the time, you know. I mean, obviously, you know, you're not putting on events that no one's coming to, but like it means a lot that your partner's there.
But there's a lot of days where, you know, I'm not in an event, but I'm at home and I'm going, what am I doing? Like, what is
my life?
Yeah, like, am I making the right decisions here? Should I keep pursuing this? You know, and
which I think is normal in any job.
I
right?
hope so. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sure all kinds of jobs, people, there's days where they think, should I be doing something different, right? But ultimately, I'm doing it because I love doing it. Yeah,
so and that's the difference between our jobs and another job, right? Our job is like, no, I really do love this. Maybe I'm getting tired and whatever. I need to go for a walk. But at the end of the day, it's your passion and you're making it a job, which is incredible. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you guys are so cute. Navigating challenges. I think we kind of touched on it a little bit, but yeah, I think it's like an elephant in the room talking about like money as artists.
I was going to say, right? I would say like the main challenge, especially when you have two artists, is you have that much less money. Where's the paycheck going to come? Nobody has a real job. No one's got benefits. Money. No one's got a pension. Right. So I would say like that's probably the biggest challenge is that like there's some people, maybe one's an artist, but the other one's got a nice secure consistent job with a regular paycheck. Yeah. And in our case, nobody has that. Yeah. We're both kind of entrepreneurs. We're both finding our work. Like, you know, that's what I've tried to explain to some people, especially because like you're making this work and you don't necessarily get paid for it. But I say like, I have to find, like, usually if I'm getting paid for something, I've gone out and found that opportunity, or I've applied to this opportunity, or I've put in the work to you know,
build
create
the relationship.
A following or a relationship, you know. So, and he does the same thing. So it's a lot of hustling and it's a very busy lifestyle. I think it's funny because I think people look at artists and they think, oh, there's, you know, sleeping until noon and they
just
smoke
sit
weed
around
and
all day.
They're
you
not
don't
working.
do anything.
And I'm thinking, honestly, I probably work more hours than a lot of people do. Luckily, I like it, so it's fine. Yeah. But where a lot of people maybe have like free time and they spend with their kids, or they go on vacation, or they, you know, go do whatever other activities, I know that a lot of that time I'm still working. Like I don't always work. Like there's a funny quote that it's somebody, there's a meme or something, and it said, I didn't want to work a regular 9 to 5. So now I'm an artist and I work 24/7. And it's so true. It's so right?
true.
Like, cause you're hustling, and like we're both like one person operations. Like I would love
solopreneur. That's what we call it.
Solopreneur. Yeah. If I was making more money, I would delegate and I would hire out people to do certain jobs for sure for me, like you know, like a social media person maybe, or someone to photograph my work, to document it, or someone who
agent, a broker,
an art agent, a dealer, like all of that. Yeah. Until then, I'm doing it all, and I'm learning it all.
I have a podcast for you to listen to.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It's called Level Up Your Art.
Okay.
No, because I think, I was in the same boat. I was just like, oh, I can't afford anyone, so I don't pay anyone, so I do it all. And I do it all because I can't afford someone, so I don't pay anyone, and then I do it all because I can't afford, you know? Exactly. You end up in this loop that, like, for me anyways, I know it always doesn't work, and there can be a lot of scary times where you're like, I had $0 in my bank account. Now I have minus $500 in my bank account. But for me, it was like, okay, you know what, screw it. I think it came from a place of like, I had to get out of that. I had to spend those couple hours a day with my kids. Yeah. So I hired someone out in the studio, and then I hired another person, another person. And it's crazy. I mean, at the end of the year, I have more money than I've ever had in my life.
That's awesome.
So it does. Sometimes it takes that, like, and again, it's nice, as I always tell artists, I'm like, you know, you don't need someone full time. You just need someone for like 4 hours a week.
Exactly.
You know? 4 hours a week, and you give them like a very specific task. Yeah. And a lot of times it's like she's underfoot. So I'm like, I'm going to do this project and I want you to take a picture of me doing it.
Right.
I'm going to draw, I'm going to paint, and I want you to come 3 times in an hour and take pictures of me drawing. Right. Yeah. So it's really just like doing your marketing or doing your like media or something that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Pulling the canvas over the thing.
Yeah,
come and do that for an hour.
But then the other thing is they have to be good enough that, that it's to my standards. Because then some of it,
I know.
Because like my mom said that at one point. She's like, well, you could get like someone else to like cut out, like your collage, like my pictures and that. And I'm like, but they have to be really good at it.
That's the art
though.
part.
Like,
what are you talking about?
Yeah. Like well, even just sometimes I spend hours and hours cutting stuff out and then just categorize it so that I have it for future use. Like I might not be using it yet, but just to go through magazines, or I flip through magazines and decide what I want and pull it out. But if I
they
don't know. They don't know exactly what I do and don't want.
Yeah. So no, I think it's more and I always say that to him too. It's more the business part that you need to hire. Yeah. It's the emailing, the admin, the automation,
I should hire someone
promoting.
to do my website and that, but
I think your website looks great.
I think it's okay.
You made it yourself?
Yeah, I do Google a lot,
Yeah, no, it looks good.
I troubleshoot, figure stuff out if I can, but
yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Again, usually whether it's graphic or not, like or digital or not, like it's still coming from an artist. So like usually the eyes is good.
Yeah,
right?
like I want it to look good. Obviously, it could be better, but one day I'll have someone.
Or you hire robots.
I don't want to hire robots.
Just to promote you? Tell people about your stuff? Get a lead bank and show everyone a painting that you did to find a buyer?
What's that? What?
That's a robot. A robot can like show everyone your work and just be like, buy Emily Andrews' work. Here you go.
I don't know how to go about hiring a robot though.
I will show you.
Okay, yeah, you'll have to show me. I've never hired a robot.
Let's have a digital date. Let's hire a robot for free.
Because the digital thing is the part that I'm like, I don't want to do it. It's not fun.
Me too.
I don't like being on the. That's why.
No artists want to do the
even with collage
stuff.
People are like, have you thought about doing like digital collage? And I'm like, well, I kind of do collage because I don't want to be like, I do collage and painting because I like hands-on. I like
it's the tactile therapy.
Real things.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted
sit on a screen, do Canva.
If I wanted to be on a screen, I would be a graphic designer and I'd make actual money. Like I'd actually get a job where people are gonna hire me, or I'd learn photography and become like a wedding photographer, something that's actually useful or something. But I don't want to have to be on a computer more than I need to.
For sure.
So
this is a set it and forget it. This is like train a robot and it sends out emails for you and you don't have to look at it again.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I do have I started a newsletter and that's been nice to you get, like a collection of people.
Yeah, because people want to know what you're doing.
It's been very helpful and I should have done it a while ago, but it was one of those things I didn't want to do it, so I kept putting it off.
Yeah.
But now that I've started it and they make it easy. It's like a template, so you can kind of just move stuff around and change it. But then you just keep compiling your list, and then you send it out to everybody, and so that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, robots.
Yeah.
Robots of the future. I know. I get it as artists. We hate it, but
yeah.
So you kind of talked about like your ideas, but what any other like world influence, contrasts, different things in your like what was your like inspiration?
Like with my work?
Yeah. Influence.
Ooh.
I know you talked about it before.
It sounds so cliche, but it's honestly everywhere. Like any little thing, and that's why I keep an ongoing list, because someone might say something and I think, oh, that's an interesting sentence. I'm gonna write that down. Or I might see, like you might literally go get something out of the fridge and the way the light hits you, I go, oh, that's a cool shot right there. You know, like take a little pic. Sometimes I'll take pictures of color schemes that I see, where I'll go,
you just like the colors together.
Yeah, I honestly, one time I was making a smoothie and I had like raspberries, such a good color, raspberries, beautiful color, and then I put like some spirulina, like green powder, and this color of the green and the pink, and I'm like, ooh, those look really good together. Took a picture of it, and then like 2 years later I was working on a painting and I'm like, those are gonna be the colors, like the predominant colors for this painting. So it can be anything and everything. Like the the one I just did with Nathaniel, I don't know if you saw where he's holding like a phone and there's like an ashtray.
Yeah.
It's like kind of a close-up shot.
So cool.
Part of what
That
inspired...
phone is like
I love the
in
phone.
my childhood.
Yeah.
100%.
Those phones are great. The rotary phones are where it's at.
Yeah,
But
especially the colored ones.
the color, that green,
Yes, the
avocado
olive
green is
green, yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
But part of what even inspired like wanting to paint that scene in particular with the smoking, cigarette or joint and that rotary phone and the pen and that.
Yeah.
I was watching a movie, All the President's Men. It's like Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford's from the 70s.
Right.
And it's about like the Watergate scandal and these journalists that kind of like cracked the whole scandal. And just literally like the opening scenes of watching that movie, and they're like frantically making calls on these rotary phones and smoking and writing stuff down and looking up names in the phone book and just like that process of doing whatever skill set that has changed so much now. Now it's like you type it here or you just put your phone on speakerphone, and like it doesn't look the same now as it did then. And I was just appreciating it's so fast now. Yeah. And I was appreciating like the slowed down, because the scene, it was still frantic. They're trying to get people on the phone. They're trying to write down
fast,
but there's a more of like a graceful way of doing it. And I like a slowed down process. Obviously, I'm like an oil painter with these very detailed paintings. Yeah. So I like the slowed down process. I liked old technology, and just seeing that and thinking about, how maybe, the job of like journalist, it's the same job, but the way you've done the job has changed over time, right? So when I was watching that scene in this movie, I was just like, there's something interesting about, like dialing the number and waiting to get the person on the phone and writing it down with a pen, an actual pen to paper, and just appreciating all of that. And it just, I just wrote down quickly, like guy on a rotary phone with a cigarette and a pen, like I'll just get a general idea of like what I'm interested in, what I want to go for. Yeah. And then that'll turn into, okay, aesthetically, how are we
what's
doing?
The angle?
Yeah, what's the
Where's
angle?
The placement?
What outfit do I want? And where's the light coming from? So
cool.
The inspiration comes from all kinds of different things. I might just like I saw, so funny, I was on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know if what I was looking for or just browsing. But I love when people, so I do have a thing with mirrors. Yeah. I love when people take pictures of mirrors for Marketplace, because there's always a reflection in the mirror. Yeah. And this person had posted a vintage mirror. They had taken the picture outside, so it was laying in the grass and it was reflecting the sky. And they have no idea how cool of a photo they took.
They were just trying to sell
a $10 mirror. And I saw it and I'm like, oh, this is something. So I went and I bought the mirror, and I'm going to make a painting based off of kind of like having, maybe it'll be inside, but it'll be reflecting an outdoor sky. Like it can be literally anything that I see catches my attention. And I'll really quick go, oh, that's interesting. I either need to make a note or take a quick picture or do a quick sketch just to keep the idea written down so that I can kind of revisit it. And then when I revisit it, maybe I'll change it or modify it or, work with it or whatever. But yeah, like, sometimes it's advertisements and I'm interested in like vintage advertisements. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I end up going down a rabbit hole where, and that kind of dictates the painting a bit or the meaning behind it. Like I have a painting that's these two dinosaurs watching television, right? Obviously. But on the TV, it's like an image of a space satellite. Okay. Like a satellite in space. And the initial image I was working from was an ad for RCA televisions from like, I don't know, the 60s or 70s. And in the ad, they all had these satellites on the TVs. And I thought, why are they like they all have these different models of television, but they all had different satellite dishes. And I'm like, what is with that? There's got to be a reason. Is it, the space race was happening and at that point in time, right? And I started Googling, because I'm like, interested in random history stuff. Mm-hmm. And what I found out was that during that time that advertisement came out, RCA had sponsored satellites for NASA.
Okay.
And so that's why they were kind of like using these satellite images, images of satellites on their televisions in these advertisements. So then that kind of like dictated a bit of the story behind the painting, the more I kind of delved into what these images were and why, I started to, it influenced the title of the painting, and it influenced, like what the story was behind it,
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense that you're really into like ads, and especially historically, right?
Yeah,
Because
I
they
love
carry
history.
all those carry all that stuff.
This is what's interesting about art history too, history in general, but art history, people think it's just you're studying the art, but you're not, because the art is the time period. It's the diary. The artwork is a diary of what was happening at that time and place.
Yeah.
So when you look at something
typically like pop culture too, right?
Culture,
it's like whatever was happening,
politics,
like big time
religion,
politics,
all of that.
yeah.
Like when you look at the Mona Lisa, so many people just think, "Oh, that's a famous painting by Leonardo da Vinci, and it's a woman posing." But it's like, well, no, there's a story of who that woman is and why they painted her portrait, and how long it took him and what happened to it. Like, there's a lot more, and art history, you're learning about artists and you're learning about art movements and styles and techniques.
Yeah.
But you're also learning about geography, and you're learning about who was, the king of whatever at the time, and what war was happening. And
politics,
and all, consumerism and fashion. And there's so, it's so multifaceted.
Yeah.
And I like research. I like learning. I'm like a documentary kind of person.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, I was really drawn to art history. I love history in general, but art history, you get to learn about art, but you really get to learn about so much more than that.
Yeah.
Because the art is kind of intertwined in culture, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a reflection of all the culture at that time. And there's a reason for everything. When you say, well, why did they paint that way? Why did they use that color? Why was that color used so sparingly? Well, at the time, that pigment was very expensive to make, and only the richest of people could, if you look at old paintings, you'll never see purple. You don't see purple in paintings back then, because to make purple, you had to crush a certain type of mollusk shell, and it was very expensive to do. And so only the richest people could commission artists to use that specific color.
Right.
I just love all that.
I think we were just reading about that on the flag. There was like a country
Purple,
that used purple on a flag.
Yeah, same reason.
Same thing, yeah. It was hard to get, and they were just like showing off how rich they were.
Yeah. If you had like a purple dress or something,
you were like the richest of the rich.
Exactly. And that's interesting, because so many people see that and they don't know the story behind it, or why things come to be the way that they are.
Yeah.
There's always a reason.
Yeah, we always talk about it like being so ingrained in culture.
Yeah.
That's always people's like claim, right? Is they're just like, oh, look at our artists at the time. And you're like, how much were you paying those artists?
Yeah.
Probably $0. Did you pay all the artists?
Yeah.
I said that a bunch.
That's what you celebrate when you look at culture, but it's always like, they dug
and all of a
it
sudden
out of...
they need something. Oh, let's call the artists.
Yeah, let's call the artists.
Exactly.
We need this for the culture.
Yeah.
I was curious about the fish in the Billy Rogers painting.
Oh yeah.
I love that one. That was awesome.
See, and that one, like, I wasn't planning on painting TJ at all. That's when I was looking for something new to paint. So the fish have become kind of a recurring motif in my paintings.
Oh, they're cool.
Not intentional.
Yeah.
I love animals. I love including animals in my art. I do that often. I like to depict them on the same level as people. So it's like they're all equals. Animals, people, they're all
realistically
friends, they're all family,
right?
they're all the
they're
same,
a part
right?
of your family when you have
exactly,
a pet.
they are. So the goldfish I started painting, hadn't planned on it. It was one of those things where it started with one painting. Goldfish tended to work with the setting. And then I'm like, oh, this looks good. And then I kind of wasn't done with it. I kept including them. But the TJ one, and again, here's Nathaniel's influence. And he's always, it's good to have him. I call him my left-handed, right-hand man. It's good to have him around.
Too?
Yeah, he's a lefty.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Living in a right-handed world, man.
I collect left-handed.
Okay.
Everyone I've ever dated, all my best friends, all left-handed.
There's something about the lefties.
Love lefties. Because they're artsy.
They're artsy and they have to think differently. That's
Yeah.
why.
They do.
Because they have to adapt to like a world that's created for right-handed people.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit special because they're a little more ambidextrous. They think outside the box, I think.
A little more oppositional.
Yeah. And
They're just
resilient.
like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm doing this.
Yeah. Well, I'm defiant as well and right-handed. So, but the Billy Rogers one, I was looking for something new to paint, and like I said, I have a list, but sometimes you look through and you're like, nah, I don't feel like doing those.
Yeah.
And Nathaniel was like scrolling Facebook, and that photo of Billy which obviously didn't have the fish. It was like the original photo, and Carla Antonio took it. She's like a phenomenal photographer and videographer. She's very talented, and she works a lot with TJ, with Billy Rogers. And so he had released this photo kind of like to promote his upcoming album. And anyway, Nathaniel was scrolling Facebook, and that photo came up, and I saw it and I said, oh, that's a nice picture of TJ. Like the lighting, I'm all about like the lighting is everything. Okay. Like,
Totally.
The lighting is, that's what I'm drawn to. I'm like a moth.
And I think that makes sense because like it makes it real or not.
Absolutely.
If you hit the wrong shade,
like
you're done. That's
lighting
the giveaway.
is key, right?
Yeah.
And Carla knows what she's doing. So that photo was a very nice photo to begin with.
Yeah.
And I noticed it and I said, that's a nice picture. And then Nathaniel's like, it is nice. You should paint this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could paint that. That would be cool. So then I was thinking about, okay, well, how do I make it more like surreal? Like I want to like put my twist on it. So I talked to TJ and Carla, got their permission. I was like, do you mind if I use this as a reference? Which it's always a reference. I'm not always making it exactly how it is. Yeah. It's like it's a jumping off point.
Right.
Something to work from.
Yeah.
And they were both, more than happy.
Honored.
To lend they were very nice about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very nice and more than happy to lend the photo to work from. And because I was doing that fish, I'm incorporating fish in a lot of my work, I thought I'm going to, put a goldfish in here with him. And he's got, I credit it to the two of them, honestly. Like I get a lot of compliments on that painting and I always feel weird taking the compliment because I want to say, well, Carla took an amazing photo and TJ's an amazing model. So like, it's more them than me, like, cause he's got this look on his face. It's kind of forlorn. It's a little bit melancholy. And I titled it Wallflowers because the idea is that him and the fish, and there's like a Rhodes keyboard in there. They're like at this party and they're kind of just in the background, like the fly on the wall, watching it happen and thinking in their heads, not really part of the party, but like they're the wallflowers. Yeah. So that's, that was kind of my story behind that painting. And
it's a good depiction. Cool. And honestly, knowing TJ so well, that's totally him. He's either the center of attention or he's the wallflower.
Exactly. He so is. Yeah. 100%. I didn't even think of that, but you're right.
He's on stage
Very much.
He's like giving people like all
his
attention.
Exactly.
Yeah. His dad was my guidance counselor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Such a huge influence on my life. I still see him at the gym sometimes.
That's nice.
I'm just like, tell me all the things.
It's good to have those good influences like when you're younger,
Yeah. Especially in high school where you're trying to figure it out. Like
sure.
He was the best guidance counselor.
Oh, I didn't know he was a guidance. I went to St. Mike's and we didn't have. He wasn't there when we were there.
Really?
Yeah, but I had Miss Coburn. Like his stepmom was our music teacher.
Oh yeah, she was a music teacher. Yeah. Totally.
So I had Miss Coburn. Like
I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know when he left, but he must have left between us.
Counselors. It was all right, but yeah.
No, TJ's dad was the best.
Yeah, I'm sure he was
so good. But yeah, it says a lot that he was raised by a guidance counselor, right? Just teaches that like respect of other people and just so much adoration for other people's work and art. And he's such a good guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to TJ.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, this was amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, this is great.
It's always fun to talk about like artistic process.
I know.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, it's always
keep
super
building
inspiring.
our community.
Yeah.
For me anyways.
No, I agree. Like, and that's why, like, when you're saying when you go to art shows, I always leave art shows and concerts and that inspired. Like,
Same.
I'm always like, okay, I'm ready to go make more work. Because when you talk with like-minded people and you share ideas and you talk about each other's work and that it really keeps that momentum, that flow going. And
we're rare, right? Like, we're unicorns that like, it's so hard. You see other people around, you're just like, oh, look at that guy driving his Mercedes. Like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. But then you get with motivated artists and you're like, no, I'm doing it right.
A lot of those people are jealous because they maybe are not having as much of an interesting, like, I don't want to sound like, oh, look at us, we're so cool.
But they know maybe
it's a very interesting
they
life. They
lack passion, right? Because their job might be like what they have to do instead of what they want to do.
Yeah, like we get to do what we want to do. It's so much fun to get to like do what you want for a living.
Yeah.
Like
it's that slow burn dopamine.
It is, right? But I'll take it, man. Like,
Me too.
I'd rather do that than a job that I hate.
I know, for sure.
Yeah.
Unless we could go back to the video store.
That I would do. That I would do.
Just part-time,
honestly,
part-time.
Like, and I think I was getting paid less than minimum wage, to be honest with you. I was
my
making
God.
nothing, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun. Well, yeah, I can't wait for your festival in Toronto and your show at the,
at the
give us the
Exchange.
dates one more time.
It's called Trail Mix. It's a music festival at the Exchange in Niagara Falls,
Trail Mix.
June 22nd.
22nd.
I believe it's a Sunday.
Yep, it is.
And I think it's like kind of an all-day thing. Like, I think we're on at like
Fun.
3:30, but it's like an all-day thing. It's free, all ages.
Amazing.
And then the Toronto Outdoor Art Fair for anybody who's interested in art and wants to see, because I've been looking at the roster. There's some really cool artists from all over the country. Really cool stuff. That
Awesome.
is July 11th to the 13th. That's a Friday to Sunday. It goes from 10 in the morning till like 7 at night. So
It's gonna be long
full
days.
Long days. I'm gonna take a little vacation after.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you
Cool.
so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, we can't wait to check out your work this summer.
Yeah, right on. Thanks.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and you'll never miss a podcast.
All right. Good night.